the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with a few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
What's up, everybody? It is 8 o'clock. It is August 29th, 2022, and you're tuned into the Drive-In Speaker Box. That's right. The best in movie news, film reviews, gossip,
hot goss coming at you.
Opinions, memories, nostalgia, and everything in between. I'm your host, Bo, the boom operator.
I am Slick Doggy, the grip.
And yeah, we're here. It's another week. Vince already in the chat. They were on Twitch commenting on your Fast and Furious shirt there, Jake. You know, because the Fast and the Furious franchise just keeps getting better and better.
Oh man, it does, because I just saw a sick meme today where it was like from Avengers or some nonsense movie, and like, wow, look to the sky, and then it's just Dominic Toretto in a Charger blasting in. Thanks, Lodgeweb.
Yeah, and, nothing about that sounds good. Sorry.
It was super rad, dude. I thought it was cool.
Nothing about...
because it was just a Charger comes blasting in. He kills a spaceship, and he's like...
A Dodge Charger killing a spaceship.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Yeah, thanks to another 12-month sub over on Vince. Vince pointing out there. Thanks, Logan. Velvet Santa on Twitch. We got Night Ashley over on Twitch. All the Twitch viewers, thanks so much for tuning in early. We appreciate you having here. This week, we're going to be talking some movies. I went and saw 3,000 Years of Longing in theaters just last night. So I'm going to be talking about that later in the show. And then you caught a movie on, what was it, Amazon?
Yeah, on Amazon Prime, because this week our Discord members know I've been putting my motorcycle back together after 7 months, finally getting back on two wheels, and I put a transmission in a vehicle this weekend, so I didn't get to go to the theater, but I did watch Samaritan on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about that also in the second hour of the show, or the second half hour of the show. This is only an hour long show. It used to be a 2-hour show once upon a time when we played film scores. So sometimes, you know, we go back to that world. But yeah, so anyway, let's jump into the news as we do. If you are just joining us, if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, feel free to jump in the chat. We do this live every Monday night, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. You can check us on our Facebook, our Twitch, or our YouTube. We do this live. You can get in there, and we got the Discord link right up in the chat. You can join. You can chat with us about stuff that's going on when we're not here in the studio, and it's cool. We've been sharing a lot of fun, making some memories. So you know, there you go. But yeah, let's jump into this news, Jake. What's new?
What is new? Well, I guess the other day, Johnny Depp made his big comeback, is what everyone's saying. He appeared on MTV's VMAs as the MTV Moon Man, and that has everyone all up in a roar one way or the other about that. Speaking of MTV stuff, Paramount Plus, this is for you.
Paramount Plus, I'm listening.
During the VMAs, released a trailer for a new movie called On the Come Up, and it happens to be full of up-and-comers, man. Hey. Lots of up-and-comers I wrote in my notes. It's the directorial debut of Senna Lathan. She's an actress. She's been nominated for awards. Now she's making her directorial debut. Up-and-comer.
Up-and-comers.
All the way around. And it is a movie that is about a girl who's an up-and-comer in the hip hop scene. She's trying to be like
hip hoppiness, coolness,
a super rapper to live up to her dad's legacy, who had passed away. She's 16.
Boogaloo Shrimp.
No, that would be
from Breakin'.
Rad. Well, she's only 16, so not.
Well,
old
I don't
enough
know,
to
man. Boogaloo Shrimp, maybe
he's still out there
just popping it in
breaking
there
with
and
broom and no. And that's played by Jamila C. Gray, another up-and-comer. But then it has the likes of longtime up-and-comers, Mike Epps and Method Man.
Method Man.
Yeah, Method Man and Lil Yachty.
Where's Redman?
Well, I mean, you can't always have them together.
Lil Yachty?
Lil Yachty's going to be in it. He keeps making his way into movies somehow.
And I'm kind of okay with it because I
Really?
kind of actually like Lil Yachty.
I didn't like him in the Teen Titans Go to the Movies. But that
it wasn't terrible, but
I
it's
had
yeah.
I had to hear his song, and
Exactly. I mean,
if it was just him in the movie,
he's kind of a funny dude.
like his dumbass Sprite commercials or whatever. That's fine.
His hair
but
and,
yeah.
I like Lil Yachty. I'm not mad about Lil Yachty.
He keeps finding his way into movies. So up and comer right there in the movie world. I guess he's fairly established in the music world.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so
I guess.
I mean,
You get a couple one-hit wonders and you're good.
Yeah, anymore. That's
You're
really how
set.
it works. But you know what? Talking about up and comers, let's just keep that going. Tessa Thompson, she is continuing to be a rising star. It was announced that there's a new sci-fi thriller cool movie, Ash, and
Yep.
it stars her and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and her entire crew of space people is murdered, and she's the only one to survive. And then Joseph Gordon-Levitt's sent to investigate, but then he starts to suspect maybe she could be a killer. And it just so happens to be that she is producing the movie. So
you get to be the star.
she gets to be all of the bit of up-and-comer that there can be. And then what's that singer dude that everyone is really into? He was in like One Direction or whatever, or the British, is it One Direction?
Harry
British?
Styles?
Harry Styles.
Yeah.
He keeps making
He's in everything
movie
right now, yeah.
news.
He's in
Yeah,
everything.
apparently actors talked about this movie that's coming out with him in it, where they cried on set because it was just such
I read
a big
that
deal,
article
and
too, and it's like,
he's set to be some Marvel hero, and everyone's like, "Wow, look at this up-and-comer."
we'll see. We will see. I don't believe anything that I read in the media. I know a lot of that is just like click-worthy buzzbait, where it's just trying to get people hype about movies.
Get hyped.
And, yeah. So you're like, oh, we wept on stage, so everybody better get their ticket and see it in theaters. Whatever.
Yeah, maybe. But you know what? Something that actually will be of interest to you beyond just up-and-comers, a new studio or distribution company purchased the rights to be able to distribute Old Boy.
Yes, for the anniversary.
Just before, preceding the 20th anniversary, the United States will get a release of a foreign film. Thanks, Vince. Old Boy being put back into the theaters, so you can watch the original non-Josh Brolin Korean
Thank the Lord.
Korean take on a Japanese manga, Old Boy, in the theater.
Heck yeah, that's going to be totally worth it. I am all about.
I figured you would be.
Yeah, give me a chance to catch that movie. Did you hear about the Kevin Smith, a sequel to Tusk?
Sequel to Tusk?
Yeah, they were.
How do you have a sequel to that? Is it about
It was
Justin Long's character?
I hope so, because Michael Parks is dead. He died in 2017. But there's been he'd always been joking about it, but I guess this is a for real thing. He's like, no, they're really going to do it. I guess after Clerks 3 is done and all this kind of stuff, and did that small theater run and it's out there. They're like, I guess moving on to Tusk, which. If you've ever seen that movie, it's something else. Like, it's a strange one, but you've got a cool cast. I mean, it's Justin Long and Michael Parks and Haley Joel Osment. And Haley Joel Osment was one of these people that after he eventually jumped shark and was aware of how hilarious he is on screen, and not taking himself seriously, then he found appropriate roles. I mean, it sucks when you're pigeonholed as the I See Dead People kid or whatever, and then now he's can't live that down. But now he's created this new version of himself that is great. But Michael Parks, I actually worked with him on a film several years ago before his death, and he's a lunatic. That guy was nuts on set, and I've talked about it here on the show before. But he's something else as well. But and Justin Long, I really like Justin Long. He was kind of a '90s. Not necessarily big icon in the late '90s, but a lot of those teen comedies, like Waiting,
was like 2000.
No,
Waiting wasn't in the '90s.
It was like the late '90s, early 2000s.
Waiting was late 2000s.
And I was it though, because it was like Applebee's spoof. When was that? I can click some stuff here.
He was in Waiting, and he was in Accepted. Accepted was good.
Accepted, yeah.
Those are 2000s.
So
movies.
1999 was Galaxy Quest.
Wow.
And then that's where he got his start. And then Waiting was 2005. Okay. So yeah.
Mid.
Mid. Let's see. Vince always never missing an opportunity to talk about Michael Parks. Yeah, because he's a lunatic. I will always. I will never miss an opportunity to talk about Michael Parks, and I'll never miss an opportunity to talk about how much I don't like old what's his name now?
The silver hair guy from Band of Brothers and all that. He's the bad guy in The Rock's version of Standing Tall.
Just don't like that dude. Anyway,
Walking Tall. Walking Tall.
Yeah. So that's a project that's happening. We'll see if it ever comes to fruition, but I'm not mad about it. I think that's kind of fun. Also, Netflix got an anime deal with Nippon TV, bringing a bunch of different anime titles to the service. But the one that stood out for me was the original Berserk series. They've got the OVA sort of arc.
But here's the thing: if you've never started in Berserk, don't, because it is guaranteed to never have an ending now, and you'll be in the same boat as you.
Well, it's
where you'll never get to know how it ends.
It's fine, the journey. There's some really good arcs there.
You'll never get to know how it ends.
Well, that's how most things are. Game of Thrones, we're never going to know how it ends because it probably won't ever end.
Maybe, but at least we got some version of an ending.
And now we're never going to know how Lord of the Rings ever ends because Amazon Prime's picking it up. And you're never going to know how anything ends.
Lord of the Rings ends at Lord of the Rings. Amazon is doing the prequel.
Well, then you never really know how it began. There's never...
Oh, well, no, you do. There's the lore. There was a god that made the earth, but his brother or something was oh, look at this, dwarfs, and they're like, no dwarfs, no, we're making elves first. Your dwarfs are short now, and they live underground, and people hate them. And he's like, oh, dude, the way that Lord of the Rings begins is pretty good.
Well. At least you know how it ends. But Berserk is really good. It's a great series. The original anime is really great. It'll make you want to read the manga. Yeah, you may not be able to finish it because he's dead. But, what are you going to do? Let's see here. Beverly Hills Cop 4 officially happening.
Don't do that.
With Eddie Murphy, joined by Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Taylor Page. That is a thing.
Why? No Judge Reinhold?
I don't know if Judge Reinhold wants to mess with it.
Yeah, smart move.
Yeah, he's also apparently a really, really grumpy dude, Judge Reinhold. But it's coming back. Netflix is doing a sequel. Netflix I think has made a deal with Eddie Murphy to get a handful of things done. I'm not excited about this, but
Velvet Santa's comment, Lord of the Rings, the college years. That's pretty good. No, why would anyone be excited about that? That sounds terrible. Make triplets first. I want triplets.
That movie's never going to happen. We know that's never going to happen. We're never going to get the triplets movie ever.
Before triplets, Arnold needs to make Conan the King. I need that. I need that.
That's also probably never going to happen. Why would it? Arnold's too old.
No, that's the whole thing, is that Conan's old.
Yeah, but everybody's going to want him to do stuff, and then they're going to be like, well, now we got to pick some young buck Conan, like Jason Momoa, and we'll make a terrible Conan film.
Whoa, hey, I like the Momoa Conan.
No, dude.
But I've read like Robert E. Howard books. I've
but it feels like
got more into
feels
Conan
just like
than
a
just
cheap Marvel movie. Like it's just.
Well, fun fact: Conan was a cheap Marvel comic.
I
for a long time.
know, but the original movie was so good and such a good swords and sorcery departure from like everything that's like here. Let's go full CGI. Let's go cheeseball magic. Let's go. You know, the bad guy's not just a I'm bad, and you get me in the end. It was like James Earl Jones, like with this chilling performance. You know, it's
Thulsa
dude, and it's like. You know, the riddle of steel, you know, making that chick jump off the thing. And he goes, that's true power. And he's like, contemplate this on the tree of woe. You know, you're just like...
gets his face chopped off.
Slow lines. Everything now is like quick villains, and they're all like maniacal laughter and action, and a laser lightning battle and jumping between lava pits and swinging swords and just like too much. But Conan the Barbarian, there was really never any... that like the final battle between Thulsa Doom and Conan the Barbarian is Conan just rolls up on the steps, taps him on the shoulder, and whacks his head off. Mm-hmm. You know, like that was the final battle. Is he actually got face to face and didn't get hypnotized, and is like, all right, your head's coming off, dog. And it's not just like a one clean chop either. That was like one of the things that really stuck with me about that scene. Is, you know, in movies now they just like do a samurai spin. It's like whooshing, and the guy's like neck, he's like still moving inexplicably because I guess they don't understand how biology works. But they go, oh my gosh, what happened? And their head goes like. And like slides off, and it's real dramatic. But in this one, he like hacks his neck, and it doesn't hack his neck all the way off, and he comes back, and he just like finishes the job, and while holding the dude's hair, and then kicks the body out. And dude, it's the best head chop ever. That's a good head chop. You know, I mean, there's really, really good head destroying moments. Like that's a good head destroying moment. Like
Scanners
is one of the best head destroying moments. Chopping Mall has some really good head destroying moments. There's just Pan's Labyrinth has a really good head destroying moments where he like bottles that dude. Like oof. Head crunching effects are always like, oh god. But anyway,
Fist of the North Star live action movie.
I don't even remember that.
It's bad. Don't ever
it
watch
like,
it.
And did a guy's like head like bubble up pop?
Yeah, kind of.
Velvet Santa, Dawn of the Dead with the helicopter. You know, a lot of movies with propeller head removal. Like that's a pretty tropey. You know, if it's like the Indiana Jones plane, where it's like, and you didn't get to see that one, but it's like implied. But you know, the propeller death is that there's a lot of movies. We should. I mean, if I had more time to sit and compile lists, we could easily do a like top 10 propeller deaths. That would be a fun one if we had like more of a staff that could go, you know, pull these clips for us. But we ain't got that kind of time, so you'll just have to...
wow, Vince coming in with the Twilight Zone the movie. Not okay.
Yes, that deep cuts. Deep
Whoa.
cuts.
Well, wait, what a verbiage to choose for that.
Whew. Let's see what else in the news. Oh, Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd set to reunite for an R.L. Stine adaptation of Zombie Town. That sounds like 40 years too late, but also sounds kind of funny, and it could be good because I really liked the Fear Street thing that Netflix did. So if they handle this, even though Zombie Town is a Goosebumps property, not a Fear Street property, so I don't know what it's going to be rated, but it is in development by Disney Plus, which means it's probably stupid. But yeah, we will see. We will see. I mean, it's got two comedic titans and a bunch of guys from Kids in the Hall.
Really surprised to see that Disney would be willing to hire Chevy Chase.
Well, and Disney hiring Kids in the Hall. If you guys saw the new Amazon Kids in the Hall season, which I talked about when it first came out, it's not for kids. It's not for Disney. There was a lot of mid 50-year-old penis in that show. You'd love it, Jake. Just check it out.
No, I just figured out why it's your jam, dog.
Because it was funny. That's why it's my jam. Like, there is nothing more hilarious than like a graying old man like just shameless or shameful and nude, and it's just nobody wants to see that, and they play with that comedy. See Vince in the chat, he says it was good, he enjoyed it. I also thought it was good, but we'll see. We'll keep you up to date on that one. And what else did I have in the news? Did you have anything else listed? I think that was about it for me.
I think that was pretty much it, I guess.
Vince at the Doomsday DJ sketch will stay with me forever. He's playing this record. He only has one record, and it's like, I got a brand new pair of roller skates, and plays it a billion times.
Is it like the girl singing, or is it Tiny Tim? Or?
He's playing. It's the girl singing. He plays the record, and it's the only thing he has, and he's just broadcasting to no one and getting more and more insane. It's pretty good skit there. But anyway, that's your news this week. Since we've got two movies to address later, we'll move it on to talk about what is coming out in theaters this week. And this week's kind of a weird week. Everybody was talking about this weekend at the box office being a little bit light because, the two movies that came out this week, not
Idris Elba.
Yeah, well, two movies in theaters right now are, Idris Elba. But not humongous, blockbuster draws. So I think that the box office actually kind of was a little more upside down than I think what people were predicting, but we'll talk about that at the end of the show when we do the box office roundup. But this week, it's just like a lot of indie films kind of coming out, some stuff probably hitting, streaming and VOD, and then limited release at the same time. But we'll go through that. There's a lot, there's a movie called Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul, and it is starring Regina Hall and Sterling K. Brown. Looks kind of like a religious comedy there. Don't have a whole lot about that one to speak of. Also, Burial coming out from director Ben Parker about a group of Russian soldiers having the task of taking Hitler's discovered remains back to Stalin in Moscow.
That's what's real popular in the world right now. Russian soldiers. They're just at the top of everyone's interest list.
Yeah, and this one's starring Tom Felton, who of course is the little Draco boy from Harry Potter, trying to take on roles that are not him being evil little wizard boys. He was in the Flash CW series for a handful of episodes.
He was,
and then that's it. You don't see him very often, but
I feel like he's been in one or two things.
But nothing big.
He's done. I think he does voiceover work.
Oh well, that would check out. Why you don't see him very often. Because he's got some credits, but a lot of it's Harry Potter related, playing the voice of stuff. But anyway,
something like that, bro. If you're in a series like Harry Potter or Star
you're
Wars,
doomed.
Nah, dude, just ride the con circuit and make money doing nothing.
Wow, God, I don't know if I'd want to do the con circuit.
Some people really like it, and some people hate it, man. It just depends on
sitting at a table and having small talk for the rest of your life.
Yeah, maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah, but some of those people get real big from doing that kind of thing, and then they just get booked bigger and bigger, and you don't have to sit at a table and talk to people. You just do a panel, and everyone's so stoked to see you.
That's true. Bryan Cranston, just going to – he'll take any panel. He's just I'm going to just show up and talk about my tequila, and then my panel will do one project maybe, and I'll remember me in Breaking Bad, and then I'm out, drink my tequila.
It's not like Michael Dorn and Patrick Stewart are sitting at a little – table like us, hey, yeah, would you like an autograph maybe? Also, I have some merchandise. Yeah, no, they're on the big panel, and they're the giant names. It's yo, bro, you ever heard of Picard and Worf? And everyone's whoa.
It's true, they are like that, and then they smell at the same time. Also coming out this week, Waiting for Bojangles. It's Camille and George dance to their favorite song, Mr. Bojangles, and with them there's only one place for fun and fantasy. Just some drama. It's a actually I want to say it's a French film that's getting a release over here. Doesn't look like it's gonna come very big. Then there's One Way, another small movie coming out. This one has Kevin Bacon and Colson Baker. Colson Baker, you might know him as another name, which is Machine Gun Kelly.
You know what, though? He was good in The Dirt.
He was good in the dirt, and I'm mad about that.
Yeah, I was too, because I was like, Machine Gun Kelly is Tommy Lee. What the hell? And then turned out he was really good in that role. Speaking of Tommy Lee, did I message you about this the other day, like a week or two ago? Did you see that Tommy Lee just posted on Facebook, just posted his ding dong out there?
What? No.
For the world, and
but they got removed because it's
it didn't.
It's still there.
I don't know. It might be. I don't know, but it was up for like a good 5 or 6 hours.
I mean, I guess Facebook's
minimum.
like everybody's already seen this, so
maybe.
What's the
and
big
his
deal?
caption on the photo was "Oops," which is just like really funny. Hey, thanks, Bottle Rocket. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for the sub.
But it's like Tommy Lee is just like, dude, I'm Tommy Lee. Who cares?
Yeah, you've seen this wing wang. Here it is. Yeah, getting the emojis there, James. Yeah, definitely.
It's
eggplant.
not checked.
But anyway, yeah, that movie's coming out. 2 other ones, Blind Ambition. It's a documentary about 4 Zimbabwean gentlemen forming their country's first wine tasting Olympics team. So it is the Cool Runnings of sommeliers. Be really weird if it was Somalian sommeliers. That'd be, I mean, there's a portmanteau, I guess, if that's the right word.
But is this a documentary?
Yes, it is a documentary. Yeah, no.
No John Candy character to whip him into shape.
No. It looks pretty interesting. I mean, it's relevant to my interest because I'm in the booze industry. But yeah, I think that it could be a good one. Let's see.
Yeah, I saw Vince's comment.
Vince commented on Twitch. He says, "Strange how Jake is down for Tommy Lee's wanging, but not so much for Kids in the Hall
that's
wang."
That's not what he said.
And then Velvet Santa says,
elitist.
"You're a dong elitist."
Hey, bro, when you're at the top, you look down on everyone else. Is all I'm saying.
You're always looking down at a dong, I guess. Anyway,
I just thought it was funny. We both like Motley Crue quite a bit, so I just thought it was funny. And we were talking about Machine Gun Kelly playing Tommy Lee.
And dongs. So there you go. What? Don't act like we weren't just talking about dongs earlier.
Well, I don't know what
you
the
get
we.
so uncomfortable.
I don't know what the we is.
Be comfortable. I mean, you have a dong. I have a dong. A lot of our viewers have dongs. It's just everybody has a dong. Like, just accept it. It's fine. It's natural. It's normal, Jake. We can talk about dongs. It's a part of life. You know, do we need to have a conversation about how children are made after the show, buddy?
We definitely don't.
Okay. All right. Well, also the last movie that's kind of coming out, new release is The Horror Crowd. It's another it's a documentary. Of course, a lot of these are going to be probably released on streaming or super limited, but it is a intimate, revealing documentary spotlighting the Hollywood horror community. So, yeah, it's just a lot of directors and producers of horror just talking about.
That sounds a lot like the Into Darkness documentary that I got, which reminds me, they released a Into Darkness 2, and I need to find and get that. And I need to check my order status of the sci-fi version of that, because they did the
speaking of order status,
80s sci-fi doc.
You know, I never got my Kiss final performance, all my stuff that was $300 that I paid for.
You should probably write to Gene Simmons, because they're talking about hanging it up for
where's
forever.
my pics, where's my mask, where's my DVDs, where's my all that stuff I paid for.
Yeah, now that no one wears masks
yeah.
anymore for some reason.
Those buttholes.
Well, you shouldn't talk to him about it. Talk him into giving you a free Kiss coffin.
Yeah. No, I don't want to be buried in that.
Or get that box set where Gene Simmons shows up at your house and shoots the shit for 5 minutes before he leaves.
That's like a $20,000 box set.
No, I don't think so. I think it's
Has he cheapened himself?
I think it's $10,000.
Well,
it's
no,
more affordable than what you.
I'm not gonna pay $10,000 to be in the presence of Gene Simmons. I'm good, dog. But anyway, that documentary is coming out this weekend, so there you have that. And that's it. There's no real big movies hitting the theaters, so I think whatever's in theaters right now, are going to stay there for a minute, so you will have a chance to check those out and if there's something that's playing in theaters right now that you want to see, you can go and not be so in a rush that it's going to get kicked out. Like, I haven't seen The Invitation yet. I wanted to see it this week or last week, but I didn't get a chance, so I'm going to see it this weekend, talk about it next week on the show. So yeah. Let's see. Let's go ahead and keep this show rolling. We need to talk about the movies that we just saw. So, Jake, since Samaritan didn't get a theatrical release, I think it was supposed to, and
probably because Amazon Studios has been doing a lot of theatrical releases.
Yep. So, and you've got Sylvester Stallone. You've got you got some star power here, and it's superhero-y. But it just hit Amazon Prime. So, Jake, what'd you think?
Yeah, so I watched Samaritan, the new Stallone movie. And as far as star power, it is Stallone carrying the whole film, and Martin Starr makes an appearance for every bit of a combined 5 seconds. Because they got to toss him in. But it's the movie of there's a city called Granite City.
So not a real place.
Not a real place. It's kind of going the DC way of having like a fake city set in the real world kind of a thing, But in the past, like 28, 30 years in the past, there was a hero and a villain, and they were brothers, kind of like a Cain and Abel type thing. One was good, one was not so good. They ended up coming to a battle at a power plant. It exploded, and then no one ever saw either one of them again. But everyone thinks that the evil brother Nemesis died in his own fire because he crafted a hammer made of hate that was the only weapon that could hurt him and his brother. And
wait, one more time. How do you make a hammer out of a feeling?
They don't explain, but they keep repeating that he poured his hate into it, and that's what made
was
it.
Was his hate like a commodity? Could he bottle it up?
Maybe.
We all bottle up our hate, but how did he? I want to know.
I mean, really,
imbue...
the only powers they have is that they're like super tough and strong. Right?
Okay, all right.
Like they can. It's like Mr. Incredible or like original Superman type stuff. Like bullets don't really hurt them that bad. They can jump really far and they can punch things.
Okay.
Not anything spectacular. They can't
fly.
They don't
like
have
Unbreakable plus.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Mr. Incredible, Superman before the radio show gave him the power of flight, kind of a thing.
Got it.
Yeah. But the whole thing is both brothers disappeared. Everyone thinks Samaritan lives, but no one has seen him or anything like that. And then this kid who's obsessed with Samaritan, of course, finds him and runs into him. And it kind of has that Unbreakable thing of he goes to the bookstore where the dude is also hunting down Samaritan. He's like, I found him. And he ends up striking up a relationship with this
kid?
With the guy. No, the kid
gotcha.
strikes up a relationship with Samaritan, right? Or perceived Samaritan, Stallone's character, and he sees him do some incredible things like feats of strength and eventually gets hit by a car, but his bones
and the
heal.
kid's like, I've discovered you!
I found it. But at the same time, there's a group of bad guys who inexplicably just want anarchy and chaos, and their whole plan is because they grew up in the slummy part of the city, they're just going to make everything else terrible for everyone else.
That's
also
pretty standard issue, like bad guy gangs. They're like, we're going to clean up these streets because this gang is just all about making them dirty.
That's me digging for and then finding and creating and explaining to you the motive. The movie does not give that to you. The movie's like, they're like, I'm angry, so I'm going to blow up power stations.
Cool. Bad guy stuff.
Hardy
Entertainment says Samaritan was filmed in Atlanta.
Hey, they made Atlanta look like Detroit. Because the whole time I was like, this is Detroit for sure. Overall, it's like a fair kind of... I would say it's like a kid's movie. It felt more like Shazam than RoboCop, but it really was trying to go for like a RoboCop-y type Unbreakable vibe. There's even a RoboCop pinball machine at one point, which is
and they
cool.
actually showed that it was a RoboCop.
Yeah, it says RoboCop.
Usually they kind of avoid that so they don't want to get like in trouble with licensing.
No, it's right there because I think they wanted to draw that parallel and have you see that kind of a thing. But I mean if you're looking for some sort of Marvel blockbuster, it's not it.
Yeah,
it's not.
Well,
it
I mean.
there.
I've seen some little clips of this, and just some of the dialogue that wasn't Sylvester Stallone was just like super cringy.
Stallone definitely carries the movie. He's probably like the only good part of it. He does do some 80s like one-liners, which
hey, I'm gonna lift this car.
It's not as bad as
I'm Samaritan. Don't be dirtying up these streets, bad guys.
Actually, that would have been pretty good. No, but he's like, hang around, and then someone blows up after he hangs him on something. That's not a direct one, but you know what I'm saying. Like, so I don't know. It's fun enough, I would say. Is it gonna be up there with all of the?
Is anyone gonna remember that this movie existed next month? Probably not.
No, probably not. But
hey, what's my new movie? Samaritan.
If you got like an hour and a half or 2 hours, and you just want something where you're not going to hate that you watched it.
Yeah, I guess it's going to scratch the superhero itch, as if we need more superhero content.
The kid in the movie definitely ruins it. Like, it would be a lot better of a movie if the kid wasn't there.
And I really like Sylvester Stallone. A lot of people tend to poo-poo him as an actor, but he's got chops, man.
Yeah, and Hardy Entertainment says the same thing that I'm getting at, which was Stallone was really good in this movie. If it followed Stallone more and maybe had more of Martin Starr's character, kind of like in Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds and what's his name? The dude that people don't like anymore. Like their interactions instead of having the kid brought in, I think that would have made it a better movie. And give the bad guys some. There was too many bad guys, right?
In this movie?
Yeah. So there's the main bad guy, Cyrus, and then he has this girl, Syl, and there's like one of his underlings who's like has big hair, and his cousin who has a big nose, and then there's like Ding Dong number 1 and Goober.
Does he have a big Ding Dong?
Goober number 2.
Big nose, big.
No, dude. Okay. There's like nothing but Ding Dongs and Goobers, but it tries to make everyone into a bad guy, but it doesn't give enough time to explain. T.J. Miller, thanks, Vince. It doesn't give enough time to explain like their real motive, other than they're like, yo, Nemesis is cool because in our part of town the bad guy is the good guy. That's what's up. And then like they start throwing military grenades that disintegrate people, and everyone's like, yeah, kill more of us. We love being killed. Break the glass. Nemesis rules. And it's inexplicable that the people of the city are just down with watching their friend get murked next to him if it means some destruction. So the whole anarchy bit of it could have been given some more motive to make it more interesting. Maybe take 2 or 3 of the bad guys out of the movie so that there can be a better focus. Because in the end, they make the one bad guy kind of fight on par with Stallone's character until they decide that, we forgot Stallone's stronger. So it works, man. I mean, it's a fair movie. Stallone's good in it. The rest of it, you just kind of have to be okay with it being a streaming movie.
All right. You check it out on Amazon Prime.
Well, there it is. You can check it out. Amazon Prime. It's free streaming for now.
Velvet asked if it's better than Double Dragon. Almost everything is better than the Double Dragon movie, except for the Mario movie.
And except for, don't forget the Open the Door, Get on the Floor, Everybody Do Dinosaur. That was a good song that's from Mario Brothers, not Double Dragon. Those movies are in my brain.
Yeah,
it's about... They share the same address in my brain.
Yeah, brothers, like... questionable brothers of different ethnicities that have to fight in a dirty city. Yeah.
Yep. Well, also in theaters actually, is the 3,000 Years of Longing. This movie, we have been just bombarded with trailers for this movie for the past several months. Everybody's saying from the genius, the wild genius mind of George Miller, and like this action-packed, crazy, over-the-top, like visual trailer. This movie is not the trailer, and I say this with an asterisk, and the asterisk is not in a bad way. I wanted to see this movie. I've been looking forward to this movie. I really like Idris Elba and Tilda Swinton. And this movie is very much the Idris Elba and Tilda Swinton show about a very, interesting romantic relationship between this lady who's all about storytelling and this jinn who has been captured or trapped in his bottle for thousands of years and only gets out every now and again and kind of tells the story of how he continues to keep getting trapped in these bottles.
Tell me that Idris Elba keeps his real accent and just talks like Cockney Genie.
No, he's not Cockney Genie. Actually, Idris Elba carries this movie. Like, what a performance. Idris Elba, I am becoming a bigger and bigger and bigger fan of this guy because like many actors and actresses that I really, really love, it's ones that will just take whatever role that seems interesting. Right now Idris Elba,
go watch Beast and
that's what I'm saying. He's just like, I'll take Beast, and then he's like, oh, well, I'm gonna do this movie where I'm gonna be a genie, and I'm gonna be in whatever Fast and the Furious as a bad guy, I think,
Hobbs and Shaw.
And then I'm gonna be, he'll just like whatever. And I was in Dark Tower, I guess. Does anybody remember that one? And he'll just take it. And he was Luther, which is cool. But this movie, is not an action-packed romp. And I think if you're going into this movie thinking that it's gonna be this high fantasy, fast action paced, coming off of a Mad Max style, which is what they keep trying to advertise this movie for, you're going to be like, wait a minute, what? Because this is a romantic film. This movie is about feelings. And it is about Tilda Swinton's feelings, and it is about Idris Elba's feelings. It is about exploring like what it's like to be imprisoned because of your choices, and what it's like to be afraid of your choices. And it uses, this is not an original script. It's actually based off of a 1994 short story called The Djinn and the Nightingale's Eye from A.S. Byatt, which, that story borrows heavily from a lot of things, like 1001 Nights, of course, works of Chaucer and Shakespeare and, Gilgamesh and all these things that kind of roll into this sort of hybrid. It's not, I saw one review in the trailer where it's like a grown-up Aladdin. No, it's not like a grown-up Aladdin. This has really nothing to do with Aladdin except for there's a djinn and a lamp. Like, that's it. There's not like Alibaba had them 40 thieves. There's none of that shit. She doesn't even really make any wishes in this movie. They're not like, oh, I need a rocket ship to space, and I want to see what I'd look like with a bigger dong like Tommy Lee or anything like that. None of these,
like in Bedazzled.
Yeah, none of these wishes happen. But it uses vignette and it uses storytelling. This movie is about storytelling, and to me that's kind of captivating. There's a lot of really odd visuals, so be careful if you're one of those people that likes to take edibles and go to the movies. I would be like, buckle up, because there's some strange visuals in here that kind of come out. But all that is things that I really enjoyed about this movie. Again, the journey is the good part about this movie. The story is not. And when you get to the end of this, there is a little bit of longing left. It's this movie it's kind of about unrequited passions and desires that never truly get fulfilled. And I feel like that is really an unintentional side effect of this movie, because they spent so much of the first and second act just getting you immersed in Idris Elba's like stories of these previous owners of him, essentially, and then you fast forward to the third act and it goes whoop, and it just like him and Tilda Swinton's relationship, just is over in a blink of an eye, and there's things that don't get really extrapolated or explained why Idris Elba's character, not to spoil anything, but he comes alive in the modern day, and modern technology kind of affects him, because it's like this balance about science and quote unquote magic, which is storytelling. They don't come out and say, oh, magic is dying because of science, but they say that the way that we learn and we tell stories, and how stories evolve into religion and all this kind of stuff, was because we didn't have a lot of science. And somehow, without really letting audience know by the end of the film, science is affecting him, but it doesn't spend enough time on this. And then they're like, okay, we gotta wrap this up. We gotta give it a reason for them to be separated and things to get sad. And it's. I didn't like the ending. Not that I need it to be more heavy-handed. I just think that they spent a little bit more time in the second act. They could have been really spent in the third act of Idris Elba trying to exist in this modern world, instead of spending an hour and 40 minutes talking about his previous tales and spending the last 20 minutes of like going, whoop, here you go. I think they could have fleshed that out a little bit more. Vince says, sounds like my jam. To be honest, I never finished Mad Max, but I want to at some point. They're
Didn't
very
finish
different
which
movies.
Mad Max? Because Mad Max sucks. That movie's a turd. I don't know why anyone would
The
ever
Road
like
Warriors,
it.
where it starts getting
The Road
good,
Warrior and Beyond Thunderdome
are good. Yeah.
And then there's Fury Road, and everyone was like, I've never seen a Mad Max before, and this is amazing.
Yeah. Velvet Santa asks, how were the car chases? There were none. There were no cars, really, in this movie. This movie is, again, it's about feelings. It's about falling in love. It's about having your desires met or not, or trying to have them met but not really having the means to achieve them. Vince says the trailer seems like they ordered a ton of room service and extra fluffy towels. Yeah, the whole movie really takes place in this hotel room where it's a conversation between Tilda Swinton and Idris Elba. They're getting to know each other because Tilda Swinton's very skeptical and she doesn't want to jump in and just make these wishes. She actually doesn't want to make any wishes at all. And Idris Elba, by these genie laws, he will be freed and go back to Jinn world if somebody finishes all three wishes, but no one ever seems to get that far before he's captured or something happens or they die or something goes wrong, and they never really end up getting all three. And so Tilda Swinton's like, well, it kind of sounds like wishes suck, and he's like, no, but you got to make these wishes.
That's a big change from how that kind of thing normally works, of people blasting through all three
and then not having enough. Yeah. And then Robin Williams being like, you're going to wish for me my freedom? That's, whatever. But, I recommend this movie. I think that this is a good movie. It's a good visual movie. It's a good departure from Marvel. It's a good departure from action. I would say this is a pants-worthy movie. It is not for everyone. I really am upset at the way that they advertise this film, because I think they're going to draw people into the theaters, and those people are going to hate it. So I feel like their gamble at trying to get people in early is going to really backfire on them. So yeah, Velvet Santa on Twitch says, I wish the drive-in speaker box was #1 on Apple Podcasts. So like, me too. Let me just rub my lamp and see if that happens. But it's out there. You can check it out. I recommend it. I mean, especially with a light week in the theater this week, you've got this and Invitation still running for another week. Use this week to catch up. And seeing this movie, or this kind of movie, in a theater will make more of these kinds of movies happen. And I think we need to see more movies like this. But unfortunately, spoiler alert to the box office roundup, this movie did not do good at the opening night of the box office. So kind of a big letdown at the box office, honestly, which is odd considering how much advertising this movie had. And it's just not getting people into the theater. So but Jake will cover that later.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you got Idris Elba in more than one movie and you get to see him punch a lion in the face or have pointy ears and talk with old creepy Tilda Swinton all movie, which one are you going to pick? You're probably going to watch the one where he punches a lion in the mouth.
Yep, yeah. Chelsea just asked over on Facebook, did I miss the talk about the 112 drive-in? No, we were just about to talk about that right now. We're not going to do a big, slideshow with Boys to Men in the background or whatever, but...
Why not?
Because I don't have that kind of... You could have done it. The end of the road... Still I can't. Anyway, I got to go to behind the scenes. If you, I don't post on Instagram a whole lot on our Drive-In Speaker Box account, but I did post this. I went to, actually, and I got you something. I got you your very own Drive-In Speaker Box.
Look at this.
There you go.
How about that?
We've we've got our this one right here that's signed by Joe Bob Briggs. I don't know what drive-in that came from because I got it off eBay, but these
we know exactly where
these came from. So we got our own drive-in speaker box from the 112 drive-ins right here. I went to go pick these up. Vince throwing the speaker box emojis. He's like, "What is?" Now you understand what the speaker box emoji is about. So, I went on Saturday because I was not going to be able to catch the last screening, and also I hate Grease. So not gonna go wait in a 4-hour long car line and watch a movie I don't even really like.
I did see that on their Facebook they posted the line going way back, and I hadn't seen a line for the drive-in like that in a long time.
To piggyback off of my anger rant from last week, what a slap in the face.
That's what it took to get people.
Yeah, everybody's just like, oh no, it's gone. I guess we better go one last time. And they have a great time. And they're like, if you had just been going and having a great time, then it wouldn't have gone away. I met the owner of the drive-in. She actually lives in Florida. I went to go pick these up, and the guy that purchased the land from the family that owns the drive-in, and they're going to be redeveloping it, he was there kind of taking pictures, for posterity's sake. And he was like, oh, hey, Bo, what, blah, blah, blah. Do you want a tour? And I'm like, yes. I've never been past the snack bar.
Plus, it's getting dozed, and no one else will ever get to see it again.
Yeah, so I got to go in behind the scenes, because at first they were just like, you can't even come inside the snack bar. We're making hot dogs and popcorn, and you can't come in here. We're selling speaker boxes out the door. But then I got the VI. They're like, oh no, it's Bo. Get him in here. And he's the driving speaker box guy. So I got in there, went behind the scenes. The building's big, it's cool and empty. And I met the owner. She was really nice. Her family has owned theaters since the 30s. They've owned so many theaters across the country, many, many drive-ins. She's actually lives in Florida, and a family here has been running it for them.
Jimmy Terry used to run it.
Yes, and he's like, what, 100
Is he still alive?
Yes.
What?
They're actually they're trying to do a book about him, and the guy that was writing the book about him died. And so
last time I saw Jimmy Terry, I slipped on some popcorn butter on the Malco floor, and he gave me a movie pass.
And so this guy apparently had been running it for years and years and years, and he was not there. I didn't get to meet him, but I talked to her a long time about drive-ins and theaters and all the different things. It was, we chatted for a good half hour in her office, and she just came in to finish the last weekend. But then they were like, you want to go up into the projector booth? And I'm like, do I? And I went up into the projector booth, and they still had old reels of films. They were like, I don't know what movies these are. And I'm like, what?
Can I have them?
Yes. I'm like, give them to me. And so I'm gonna see what happens. I put out some feelers. I'm like, please, if there's any way I can get some of these, because what if they were like old drive-in ads?
Did you get a picture of the projector they use? I've always wanted to know how big the projector,
it's
huge. The lens they use for that.
On my Instagram,
I used to run a projector at the movie theater.
I took a picture with the projector. It's humongous. It's a new big digital projector, but they still had some of the old stuff, like some of the boxes that the reels would go in, and then the little things where you would edit and splice the film together, and some of the old radio, and an old direct phone that was connected to a real bell and stuff, and it was really cool. I geeked out very, very hard.
Man, I wish I would have been there for that. I used to run a projector.
I know.
I used to be a film projectionist. I used to have to take the reels, splice them together, roll them onto the thing, do the whole deal. And
they had an old, they were like, oh yeah, this is one of the first motorized rewinding deals, and it was from the 40s or whatever, and it was mounted to the wall. It was super, super cool. Logan is going to post some of the pictures of the projection
I see why
booths.
You got the backstage pass. You had Logan with you. Yeah, it wasn't you as Mr. Charisma.
That's
there.
a cute boy.
Yeah.
But Logan's going to drop some of those photos of our behind the scenes there in our Discord, so you can kind of take a look at me chatting with the lady that owns it and getting that backstage tour. But it's a sad day. It's going away. I mean, we got our little pieces of the drive-in.
That's too cool.
And everybody, packed it out. It was a great evening for them, and hopefully a lot of people made some memories that they'll never forget, because that's really what the drive-in movie is about. That is what the movie theater is about. It used to be about spending time with your friends and family, going and having a shared experience of a film that you can have a connection to, and it's not just a connection to the film, it's a connection to the people that you watched it with. So when you leave the theater, you can talk about it, you can have these memories, and the drive-in is extra special because you can, you're separated in your own little bubble, and you're just having a good time, or smooching or doing whatever it is that you do.
You can be there snogging, or have your car die and you need someone to come jump you later on, and you lose all the sound because your radio's dead, and you can get attacked by the creature from the Black Lagoon, and the guy's yelling, "Move your car!"
Yeah. And there is a piece of that magic that dies every day in Hollywood. Logan on Twitch says, "Tell him about the toilet." Yeah, there was a unstalled toilet in the projectionist booth, because it's only the projectionist that would be up there. And back when they had to change the film reels, you couldn't leave, because if you missed a reel, you're in trouble. So they had a toilet in the corner that just boop and get it done and not miss a cigarette burn, which is an old thing. You can Google it. It's a thing that they don't use anymore, but it's a mark in the corner to let the projectionist know when it's almost time to change the reel. But going back to Hollywood and films, and the more, and we've talked about the financial side of movies, and we talk about it all the time, and how movies are getting harder and harder to be made. There are these experiential movies that are just turning into these blockbusters that even actors don't want to make, because there's not a marketing model for these smaller, more eccentric films. Everything's going to either be a surefire blockbuster, or maybe it'll be on streaming and no one's going to care, because you're not, like, a streaming film is never going to captivate an audience in the same way as a theatrical film. Like a series, maybe, because it's really long. But I think a movie just coming out on streaming, it's never going to do the same thing. I promise. But anyway, we say goodbye to the 112 Drive-In Theater. It's a sad day.
I'd been going there since I was a kid, man.
Yeah. Sad day.
It's a bummer.
Vince says this conversation is a nice break from the constant deluge of Marvel and Disney. Yeah, it definitely is. Hardy Entertainment says, I have a home cinema with 35mm and digital. Whoa. That is rad, my friend. Yeah, mine's all digital now. I'd love to have a 35mm projection room, but
my home theater is a big TV and an Xbox.
Yeah, we live in a town where property values are insane, so not a lot of room for home theaters unless you're paying multiple millions for your home. Anyway, we've got to hit the box office. Speaking of financial stuff, speaking of the way movies make money, we've got to go through the box office for this last weekend, which is August 26th through 2022. We're going to give you the top 10 movies in America. We're going to tell you how they performed from number 10 to number 1. Chelsea said she saw Twister back there in the 90s, and it was a small storm. Always loved that memory there. One of my favorite drive-in memories was they played the original Halloween, and Michael Myers, and it was for an October programming they did, and I brought my Michael Myers costume, and a bunch of my friends were like watching the movie, and then I was sitting at the end, and so I slipped behind, put the costume on, and then walked all the way to the front, and then came back through the front, through the cars, dressed as Michael Myers. And I'm a creepy Michael Myers. I scared a shitload of people. Now I'd probably get shot, even though that was only 6-7 years ago, but now different at different times. But that was a really fun drive-in memory.
Yeah, I always liked, we would pop open the back. You pull in backward in a truck or whatever, you let the tailgate down and lay in the back of the truck or sit there and watch whatever movies out there, and just being out in the open air, and hearing the sound kind of coming from everywhere. It's the drive-in's a lot of fun. Vince pointed out something we forgot to talk about. I didn't know it was coming up this quick. This Saturday is National Movie Theater Day, so a lot of theaters, including all of our theaters here in Fayetteville,
all the Mount Coast
Northwest
and AMC.
Arkansas. $3 movies. So check near you. Vince posted the link in Twitch. If you're not on Twitch, or if you're listening to it later, nationalcinemaday.org help you find one where you can watch it for only $3 at the theater.
We'll also post that in our announcements tab in our Discord if you want to get up on that. But anyway, box office. Let's get in at number 10, Jake.
Hold on real quick.
What more?
I watched Blues Brothers 2000 at the drive-in, and they had Ghost Riders in the Sky, the whole thing, and in the open air. That's a sick drive-in movie theater memory right there.
Someone should have driven the car with the horn on the top and been like, go to the snack bar and get snacks. That would have been pretty cool.
Pretty cool. All right, box office roundup. Here we go. Number 10, Where the Crawdads Sing, still hanging in there. Brought in $2.3 million this weekend, bringing its total in 7 weeks up to just shy of $82 million. A lot better than what I thought that movie would do. Hanging in there for 7 weeks, a lot longer than what I thought that movie
made a lot more money than I thought.
Number 9, dropping down, Thor: Love and Thunder, brought in $2.64 million this weekend in its 8th week of release, for its total of $336.5 million in the domestic market. And then continuing to whoop its dumb ass at number 8, Minions: Rise of Gru.
It's too funny.
Brought in $2.7 million.
It's past Thor now.
Yeah, it's remained past Thor.
Yeah.
It has continued to remain past Thor. It's a week out longer than Thor, 9 weeks, brought in more money, and has 354.7. So Thor actually caught up to it more than what I figured it would.
That's pretty great.
But Minions continues to just trounce Thor there. Number 7, opening at number 7, bringing in only $2.9 million at the box office. It's only in 2,400 theaters, so about half a theater, a little over half the theaters in the country.
Its theater average still wasn't that great.
No. So it's total of $2.9 million, 3,000 years of longing. I think it's just one of those things where people are like, I don't really know about this movie.
And like I said, I think, since it wasn't in all 4,000 or so odd theaters in the country, this weekend was really critical because as the reviews come out, and like I said, it didn't really match the trailer or expectations.
Might give something for people to watch when there's nothing else.
Yeah, who knows? So maybe it'll open back up in more theaters next week since there's not a huge release schedule. But number 7 opening.
Maybe it's like me and people just saw weird ears on Idris Elba and they're like, oh, it's a pass. Number 6, DC League of Super Pets in its 5th week brought in $4.1 million for its total of $74 million.
Oops.
Yeah. So.
Oops.
Not killing it like
Kevin Hart and The Rock.
Thought they would.
Not. Yeah.
And then a surprising drop all the way down from number 1 to number 5 in its 2nd week of United States release, bringing in $4.6 million. And a U.S. total of 30.85 is Dragon Ball Super Superhero. That's a hell of a drop. But
and I think it's because everybody that wanted to see this saw it. And
that may be true, but it does continue to be like one of the top anime movies to have hit a theater.
I feel like, What's Good Guy would not go to Dragon Ball. So, okay, funny story. I know we're kind of over on time. We usually an hour and 7 minutes is our kind of average. But I was watching a movie with some friends, and we were standing out front, and What's Good Guy literally showed up at the box office.
It was us.
Yeah.
We were standing there.
Yeah, we were standing there. And you're like, wait, there he is, because the guy just came up and he's like, huh.
Yeah, it was Carson. Carson was like,
what are we gonna watch here?
It was after we watched Bullet Train.
It was after we watched Bullet Train. And What's Good Guy just walked up at the box office, didn't know what time anything was playing. It was like, hey man, well, I guess I'm gonna get a ticket to this one, and went in. He exists. He's real. And I feel like Dragon Ball Super is not one of those movies where, hey man, you know what? I'll go take a ticket to them Japanese talking cartoons, man. Let me just get in there and watch them punch on each other.
You really need a lot of background for it, and surprisingly, there's not that much punching in it. That's part of it. But, whatever. Continuing to just beat the dumb dog shit out of every movie that has been released this year. Number 4, remaining at number 4 in its 14th week, and it's coming back. It has more scenes. It's still out there. Top Gun Maverick bringing in 4.7 million. I don't know what the total is. It just got taken away from me. But it's up there. It's way the hell up there. Top Gun Maverick killing it. $691 million domestic.
So many.
And then number 3 in its second week of release. I didn't realize it was out for 2 weeks. It actually added theaters, so that's probably why. Beast brought in just under 4.9 million for its total of 20 million domestic so far. Doing better than the other Idris Elba movie that's out there.
Yep.
So, I mean, you punch a lion in the mouth, people want to see it.
People want to see it, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand, but, whatever.
And then number 2, movie we just talked about, kind of, in its 4th week of release, brought in another $5.6 million, Bullet Train, and that gives its domestic total a $78.2 million total.
Yeah.
Not
too bad.
So bad. Killing it. Doing great. And then opening at number 1.
This I didn't expect.
The Invitation. $6.8 million.
Leave it to horror movies.
Just in 3,000 theaters. Not one movie in the top 10 is in every theater of the country.
Nope. It's kind of an odd weekend, and no movie in America made over $10 million this weekend in the box office. So very, very light weekend here. But The Invitation, horror movie, I think it's going to have a little bit of staying power. Surprised they didn't release it in September. It seemed like that would have been a move. But yeah. Vince mentioned if anyone wants to see The Wrath of Khan 40th anniversary director's cut, it's Fathom Events. It's going to be playing September 4th, 5th, and 8th.
No, that's like is that on the that's not on the weekend.
That's going to be a Sunday, a Monday, and a Thursday.
I guess I'm gonna have to watch it
this coming Sunday, Monday, Thursday. So
I guess I'll watch it Sunday.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
I'm gonna be watching The Invitation this weekend. So.
Logan pointed out same thing I did. We both told him the Top Gun was gonna be the titties. So there it is.
I just didn't. Normally I'm good at this.
And
Top Gun.
Vince also pointed out Top Gun is on streaming, but it's still just killing it at the box office. It's something that it's not the same, man. You got to watch it in the theater. You got to feel the like you got to feel the jets,
the G's.
The only thing is that they should go back. They should re-edit the movie. They should add in more Kenny Loggins
and less Rooster.
Yeah, take him out of the movie some. Add in the music, man, because you don't even get the Top Gun theme until the ending credits, which is lame, and you don't get Hanging with the Boys.
I mean, they did a Hanging with the Boys scene just with no song.
Yeah, but not with the music, and you only get
yeah, I figured I was hoping that like that,
and then it's gone.
That dumbass jalopy plane that they fly at the end, it would have had a cassette deck, and then they're like, oh yeah, that's convenient, and would have been cool. But anyway, all right, guys, we're going to get out of here. We are over on time, just a couple of minutes, but we do thank you guys for tuning in. We always love all your comments. We love having you in here. Hardy Entertainment says he ran Con in 70 millimeters when it was released at the Columbia Theater in Atlanta. That is badass. Con! But yeah, we're going to get out of here. Don't forget to...
I can't wait to see the
ear things.
Yeah.
Well, check us out on our Discord. The links are in our profiles, but also in the chat if you've been paying attention. You can check out those photos of the tour of the projection booth and more. So don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find us over on your Facebook, your Twitch, or your YouTube, or you can download this audio version of this podcast. If you don't want to look at our silly faces and participate in the chat, you can get that wherever you download your podcast. Make sure you go ahead and give it a thumbs up and a 5-star rating wherever it is you download it. And as always, I am the Boom Operator.
And I'm the Grip.
And we'll see you guys next week, folks.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.